I am just coming off of the most beat up I've ever been in a competition. I ripped my hand, I bruised right here, I bruised right here, and I bruised right here. And I still look better than the courses of Ninja Warrior Germany Season 9. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but it is also kind of true. That's right, everyone. Today, I'm back with a review. Haven't done a review in a while because there haven't been many shows that have wrapped up. Just not a lot of Ninja going on in 2024. But Ninja Warrior Germany recently wrapped Season 9, and I have quite a bit of thoughts, so let's jump right into it. But first, this video is sponsored by nobody because I'm not monetized, I'm not popular enough to be sponsored. Someone sponsor me, subscribe. All right, now that I'm done selling out, let's talk about Ninja Warrior Germany Season 9. There were 10 episodes in the regular season, 6 qualifiers, 2 semifinals, and 2 episodes of the finals, and the qualifiers were a drag. I genuinely just could not bring myself to enjoy the qualifiers. In terms of the course, it was alright. It was, Rope Maze was cool to see. Rope Maze in 2024 is wild. But then you also had some really stale obstacles, some slow-moving ones like Kaleidoscope and stuff, and I like Kaleidoscope, but towards the end of a qualifier run, I'm just not a fan of it. The qualifier courses are about 7 or 8 obstacles long, and so having Kaleidoscope and other pumpy obstacles like cubes at the second to last position, I feel like I've been with the competitors for so long and it's dragging out more. The Mega Wall and the Warped Wall both had curved run-ups this time around, which I thought was really cool. They did that with the curved wall in Stage 1 in past seasons, but this is the first time that we've had a curved run-up in the Mega Wall. And it definitely made the Mega Wall harder, so I gotta give them props for that. They also had Split Decision, which was basically a choice between an OG A&W obstacle and an agility obstacle, which I liked the variety, but I also think that the upper body obstacles were kind of jokes. Rope Maze in 2024, while it hasn't been used in a long time, is definitely a tricky obstacle. It can be a little taxing on the grip. It can be tough to navigate through. I get it. Swinging frames in 2024, people. Come on. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but I liked Split Decision overall. The reason I don't like the qualifiers a lot is that the courses just don't elevate everything else for me that is all the way down here. A lot of top competitors were notably absent from this season. You were missing, Frank Schmidt-Peter, both of the Edelmans. The list can go on. And instead, we had people doing this.
Und was für sie geht. Oh!
Yay! There were so many more fluff pieces as well, and it just hurt to watch because there was never this many. You get a couple in this show, but never this many. And it was for people who sucked. They didn't make it even to the third obstacle. Basically, take all of the complaints that you guys would have about A&W qualifiers. That's what Ninja Warrior Germany's qualifiers became this season. And on top of that, they are 3-hour episodes, 2 hours without advertisements. It just goes on for way too long. The top 4 from qualifiers compete on the Super Salmon Ladder for a speed pass, which I always enjoy. The Super Salmon Ladder attempts were much better than last season's. There were so many more people choking, but you could tell that these guys trained for it this time around. They did way better. I gotta give them props there. Then the semifinals happen, and they're a lot better than the qualifiers because there's only 2 of them, and the people who are running the courses are good at Ninja. However, there are some flaws on the course, namely the final obstacle. Putting water walls on an untimed stage is absolutely stupid. I think the point of water walls is, can you beat it in time? It's a long, taxing obstacle at the end. Beating it under a time limit, under that pressure, that's tough. The semifinals just let people walk right through it. It was not fun. But the runs that were successful were pretty quick and they were pretty entertaining. It made those 2 hours without ads, the 3-hour episodes, it made it go by a lot faster. And then we get to the finals, and I have one flaw, and everything else I pretty much liked. I'll start off by saying that this was by far the best finale in recent years on Ninja Warrior Germany. This is the 3rd year in this new era of the show. In season 6, Renee and Moritz achieved Kanzen Seiha. So for 3 seasons now, they've amped up the course, they changed the final stage, and they've been pushing the athletes more. This season, all of the stages were finally balanced properly. Stage 1 had a healthy amount of 17 people clearing, which is already putting us in a much better position than the previous 2 seasons. I liked Stage 1's course. I didn't think it was anything mind-blowing or special, but I thought it was nice. It was cute. Having 17 clears on Stage 1 meant that we were getting a minimum of 17 runs in the 3-hour finale episode the week after. This is super important to remember because in the last 2 season finales, we had 14 runs and 16 runs throughout the entire episode, and pacing was awful. Having 17 people on Stage 2 alone makes this so much better. And sure enough, it was. And also, Stage 2 meant something this time. In the last 2 seasons of Ninja Warrior Germany, Stage 2 has been swept completely, and also in the other season only had 1 person fail. This season, we went from 17 to 9, a massive improvement on course difficulty that mainly came down to how they balanced the time limit of Stage 2. And I got to appreciate it. Water walls was the last obstacle of Stage 2 because they can only afford 2 rigs, so the water walls just had to stay the whole season, which is a bummer, but that's budget cuts. But again, water walls under a time limit actually works, and we had people timing out. We had people taking shocking falls beforehand. It was a good Stage 2 overall. Stage 3 is where it gets a little dicey for me, and it leads into my major flaw, but we had 9 people and we went down to 3, which I got to appreciate. Not only did we cut 2/3 of the field down, but they fell in some different areas. And then we had 3 people on the final stage. But overall, I thought the finale was good, except for my one flaw, which I haven't talked about yet, and I'm going to right now. I understand that the space for Ninja Warrior Germany to film is smaller than what other shows provide. It's indoors, so it's not outdoors. You don't have the space that A&W or France or Israel have. I get it. I understand that. That's fine. That does not mean that we have to nerf every single obstacle ever. I'm not even kidding. Every single obstacle was nerfed on this show from what it originally came from. The dominoes on domino effect were closer together. Lasso launches Lachey was pathetically close. The gaps for Lachey's were smaller. And it just felt like there was always some sort of way to dumb down an obstacle to make it easier. And they didn't need that. There are some really strong ninjas on this show that do not need that scaled down course to do well. You could put them on a supersized course and they'd be just fine because they're capable of throwing bigger stuff. And so one of 2 things happened for me the entire season as I watched. Either we saw really bad athletes suck at ninja who clearly don't train it a lot, do really bad on these really nerfed versions of obstacles, or we saw these pro ninjas absolutely dog walk the course because it was smaller than what they're training in gyms. You just shouldn't be able to reach out and grab all of Piston Plunge, okay? I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is like the opposite of how I felt from previous seasons of Ninja Warrior Germany. I used to really enjoy the qualifiers and semifinals, and then I was like, dude, this finale is trash. But this time around, I was having a hard time with majority of this season just sitting through the episodes, and I sat through the episodes twice. Again, I watch everything twice. One time just to be all like reactionary, excited, let me feel something, and then the second time I use this to really formulate my thoughts. So I watched all of these episodes twice, and the qualifiers and semis were pretty tough to sit through, but I quite enjoyed the finale. Once again, a ninja show proves to be inconsistent with highs and lows, but I mean, such is Ninja. It wouldn't be Ninja Warrior without it, and it's a reason I keep coming back, you know? I want to see if we can ever get that season again where it's going to be consistently good across the board. So those are my thoughts on Ninja Warrior Germany Season 9. Where is it going to land in my rankings? Find out on New Year's Eve when I rank every single ninja show that came out in 2024. Until then, I'll see you later.